Hello everyone, it's Emma and welcome back to my channel. This is a video I have been wanting to recreate for a long time. It's one of the very first videos I have on my channel. It's still live if you want to watch it, but I'm recreating it to make it better, so just don't go watch it, okay? Anyway, that is ways that you can actually make money and also save money by living low waste. The majority of these do not involve you buying any sort of products, though we will talk about at the end some products that you can buy up front. Might cost a little bit of money, but will save you a lot of money over the long run. But for the most part, a lot of these are free and they'll save you money. If you would like to read along with the blog post version, it is linked in the description. And with all that out of the way, let's just go ahead and jump right in. The first category we're going to be talking about is food. First up is meal planning. Now, this is different than meal prepping, at least to me. To me, meal prepping is like cooking all of your meals on the weekend and then you have all your meals ready to go for the week. But meal planning to me is rather planning out the ingredients I need for the week. So I buy the exact ingredients, the exact amount. This helps me to avoid impulse shopping when I'm at the grocery store and also prevents me from overbuying on items, especially produce that can go bad quickly. And then that way I know, like, okay, tonight I want the lasagna. These are the exact ingredients I need. I use everything before it goes bad. It is estimated that if you meal prep, you can save anywhere from $20 to $50 of groceries per week. And also you're not throwing this valuable stuff into the landfill. You can also cook more at home instead of going out if you are able to do so. I kind of did the math in my head this week. I was like, man, I'm spending so much money on groceries, but then I'm like, wait, this money I'm spending on groceries is for 15 to 20 meals. And this money that I'm spending on groceries would probably only be like 4 meals eating out. So it really does save a lot of money and of course waste, especially if you're getting like a lot of takeout. The average American eats out roughly 4 times a week, but if you just make 2 or 3 of these meals at home instead of eating out 4 times a week, you could save anywhere from $900 to $1,000 per year on average. You can also try to shop locally, especially when it comes to like farmers markets, supporting local farmers, and even trying to see if you can figure out where your produce is coming from. When I use online shopping like Imperfect Foods, I try to find stuff sourced locally, like in Southern California. And I feel like especially with farmers markets, it's typically fresher, typically cheaper, and then of course you're supporting the local economy, which is great too. Another thing with food is to don't throw away your rotten or going bad food items. Now, this definitely does depend, but for example, brown bananas can be used in so many things. I have a blog post I'll leave in the description that covers 15 or 20 ways to reuse bananas. You can also turn veggie scraps into veggie broth. Again, recipe in the description. Apples that are about to go bad can be sliced thinly and used to make apple chips, or you can turn them into apple cider vinegar. Oranges about to go bad, you can use the peel, soak them in vinegar, and now you have an all-purpose cleaner. If you've got a lot of coffee grounds, they make a great fertilizer even if you don't compost. And banana peels can be used to make plant fertilizer. There are a lot of ways to reuse going bad foods instead of putting them in the landfill and having to buy more. You can also quit paying for fertilizer if you garden or have landscaping and compost instead. Chances are, if you have a garden, you have some landscaping, you probably have a place to put a compost bin. Composting is one of the best things we can do for the planet, in my humble opinion, and it's also essentially free. I found my current compost bin secondhand really cheap, and I also built my compost bin completely for free out of upcycled materials when I lived in Japan. The video will be linked here. All you have to do is collect your food scraps and watch them turn into really nutrient-rich soil that you can use to fertilize your plants. Okay, now we're going to specifically talk about like your coffee and your water routine, because I feel like this can be a super wasteful part of most of our lives. First off, switch to a reusable water bottle and a water filter. I know I said you're not gonna have to buy anything, but the cost up front can be cheap. You don't even have to go for like the top of the line stuff. But now you'll never have to buy another single-use plastic water bottle ever again. What's a case of water cost? $5, $10? You can get a reusable water bottle for less than $20, I'm sure. I haven't bought one in a while. So even in just 2 to 4 cases of water, it's already paid for itself. If you use a Keurig, that's probably one of the most wasteful ways you can make coffee at home, but you can switch to a reusable coffee pod. If you didn't know, they make these little pods that you put in the top of your Keurig machine that instead of it being single-use serving, you can just put your own grounds in there and you can reuse this pod over and over again, and you can still get use out of your Keurig without it going to waste. The average bag of coffee costs around $11.41, and this makes 41 to 82 cups of coffee. On the other hand, K-cups cost roughly $25 for 24 to 60 cups. So doing this will already pay for itself in just one batch. You can also switch out your disposable coffee filters for a reusable one. There are a lot of different reusable coffee filters out there for all different types of coffee making. Or if you're looking to go the absolute zeroest waste you can when you're making your coffee, go for a French press. This requires no pods, no filters, just coffee and water. And then of course use reusables when you're getting coffee to go or other drinks to go as well. But you don't even have to buy a reusable cup. You can use a jar you already have. Moving on to water and electricity. I personally think that these are some of the easiest ways we can save money and save waste at the same time. First off, simply turning off your faucet. For a lot of things, when you're washing the dishes, don't let the water run while you're reaching for the next dish to wash. Turn it off when you're brushing your teeth, when you're shaving. I also really like the shower head we have here. It came with the house that we're renting. It's got like a little switch on it. So when I'm like shampooing my hair, I can switch off the shower head without actually turning off the entire shower. And then boom, flip the switch, ready to wash my hair. By doing this, you can save 1,000 gallons a month and you can save roughly $140 a year on your water bill. Not only this, but it also saves energy, not just water, because when your water is pumped like from your well or your septic system up to your shower head, when it's heated, it takes energy to do that. And then similar to that is to just simply turn off the lights. Like if you don't leave your porch light on during the day, nobody needs that. If you're leaving a room, even if it is only for a few moments, turn off the light. Don't forget to also unplug appliances. For example, like when you're done charging your phone, don't leave your phone charger plugged into the wall. When you're done with your toaster, unplug it and so forth, because this actually still does use energy. It might not be the biggest amount of energy, but any amount counts when it comes to conservation, as well as it will save you money. The average family spends about $2,000 on electricity per year, and by reducing your energy consumption, you can save up to 25% of your bill. It really just comes down to being conscious with what you're using in your house. And then the last one in this category is to catch your gray water. This was something I had heard for years in the zero waste community, and I always thought it was super weird. I didn't want to do it. And then I got to Las Vegas, where we're living in a drought, and water's always a precious resource, but it's like ultra precious resource here. We're running out of water. You can learn more up there. So I started catching my gray water immediately when we moved here. You catch water in my shower and my sink when I'm doing the dishes, and I use this to water my landscaping. I really encourage you to at least like put a bucket in your shower and catch the water while your shower is heating. If you have the space, I really encourage you to use the sun to dry your laundry outside. This is like old-fashioned solar and wind energy. So hang drying your clothes can of course save a lot of energy. This is just something standard in the United States, is for us to use a drying machine instead of hang drying, which is so silly. Hang drying is free. If you can hang dry, you have the space, you have the time, highly encourage it. And it can save so much money and energy. And I have 2 videos full of water and energy conservation that will be linked above and below. Moving on to repurposing and reusing. Saving resources wherever possible is a great way to save money and of course waste. It takes machines to harvest these materials, turn them into raw materials, turn them into the products we use. A lot of energy is taken just in creating our products and disposing of them. One of my favorite things to reuse is fabric of any kind. You can turn them into reusable rags instead of using paper towels. I've also made makeup remover wipes, this beautiful rug that I'm sitting on, hankies, bags, pot holders, and so much more you can make out of old t-shirts. And of course, not buying new will save you money too. Like I didn't have to buy a rug. I didn't have to buy makeup remover wipes. I didn't have to buy paper towels. Another one that I feel like is commonly overlooked in the zero waste community is reusable batteries. Batteries they're becoming easier to recycle, though they're still not commonly accepted to be recycled. So throwing away disposable batteries into the landfill can actually be really harmful to our soil and water. I believe a pack of reusable batteries costs the same amount as buying some disposable ones, but they can last you years. The next tip is to just use your entire piece of paper. This was something I was really bad at. Like when I was in school, I would just take notes on like one side and not use the entire sheet of paper. You'll always see me using the full sheet of paper these days though, and then I'll recycle it. So of course this will save money. Now I don't have to buy as many notepads to take notes for groceries on, and obviously more trees won't be cut down for paper production. And I didn't really know where else to put this one, but that is to remember to bring your reusables everywhere. It's really easy to buy your reusable water bottle and buy your reusable coffee cup, but it's really hard to remember to actually use them. So what I do is I never leave house without my reusable water bottle. And then I always keep my reusable bags in my car so that way I don't forget them at home when I'm going to the grocery. Whatever it takes for you to remember them, if you need to make like a zero waste bag or whatever, just try to remember them the next time you're going out. Now let's talk about different types of transportation. First off, don't idle your car. Now, of course, if you're just idling for a couple minutes at a stoplight, don't sweat it. Or if you're for a few moments while you're dropping your kids off at school, like no worries. But I'm saying like for multiple minutes. But by not idling your car, this can save you roughly $750 per year. Another great thing you can do is carpool. If you live near your coworkers or your classmates, you can maybe find someone to switch days that you drive. This will allow you to only fill up your car a fraction of the time. Like say for example, you and 4 coworkers want to carpool example, to work every day. That means instead of all 5 of you driving 5 days a week, you each only have to drive 1 day a week. This could save you nearly $1,500 a year. You can also take public transportation when possible. When possible. Public transportation here in Las Vegas is so sad. Obviously, taking public transportation also gets more cars off the road, especially if you have something like an electric bus, electric train, then it's pretty much zero emission, but like even a diesel bus is better than like 30 cars. And in most cases, getting like a public transportation pass, be it for a train or a bus or other sort of system, this is probably most likely cheaper than filling up your car every week or two. Depending on where you live and what gas is like and having a car is like, you can save up to $9,600 per year. You can also ride a bike or walk. That is pretty much free if you already have a bike. Walking is definitely free, but again, this of course depends on how close you live to your workplace or the grocery, your ability to be able to walk, and so forth. And then also in this category, remember to maintain your car. If you avoid getting oil changes, you avoid changing your windshield wipers and rotating your tires, it's gonna be harder on your car and your car's not gonna be able to last as long. Of course, you do have to pay for labor, but if you don't have the time or you don't have the skills, they can help you out. The next category is to go paperless. The first one is to cancel magazine subscriptions as well as newspaper subscriptions if you're subscribed to that sort of stuff. Of course, you do have to pay for this, and especially these days in such a digital world, if you are interested by like a cover story, you could probably just Google it and ditch the magazine entirely. The next tip is to get a library card. Library cards are free. Oh my gosh, did I write it down? Someone was telling me about this great app, this great website. I think it's called Libby, something like that. It's like an online library that you can borrow books from online, like you can borrow ebooks. But you can also get a library card to your local library. Supporting these services shows that we want these services to stay around, and then you don't have to buy brand new books, which of course is saving trees and saves a lot of money. Brand new books cost a lot of money. But alternatively, there is also a service called Thrift Books, which is an online place to buy secondhand books. I found books for less than $5 on there. You can also avoid getting receipts. As someone who worked as a cashier before, I know that there's still gonna be waste with this. Cash register has this little roll in there. Even if you don't print the receipt, it still runs and spins and prints. So someone still has to get rid of that roll of receipt tape anyway. But I feel like especially in these days of online banking, you don't need a receipt, to like balance your checkbook or whatever. Do people still use checkbook? You can also opt for online billing when it comes to things like electricity and heat and your water bills. Ask to see if you can do online billing instead. This of course saves waste like the envelopes and the paper being printed out, but also a lot of emissions because now the mail truck doesn't have to come deliver these bills to you. And then the last one is specifically geared towards students, and that is getting either secondhand textbooks or online versions of your textbooks. I did online school for my bachelor's degree. I had 0 physical textbooks. They were all online. This next category is to shop green. And the first thing that means to me is to not buy new unless you absolutely have to. I am a strong believer that we already have everything we need created in this world. And I say that especially because when I furnished my home, when we moved to Las Vegas, we bought 0 items brand new for the home. And I could probably list on 2 hands the things we've bought brand new since moving to Las Vegas besides like groceries. So if you want to learn more about how I thrifted for my new home, I'll leave that video linked above. So of course, it definitely does depend. If you need something in a pinch, do what you gotta do. But if you have the time to spare, I really encourage you to spend a few days searching for what you need secondhand. There are plenty of options secondhand, whether you're looking for in-person or online thrift shopping. This of course keeps stuff out of the landfill. This prevents new things from being made and using brand new resources. It saves in a lot of shipping. I think thrift stores are great, but when donating, there's also a lot of nuance behind where you should be donating and the ethics behind it. In a recent video I did talking about the dark side to Goodwill specifically. So I'll leave that video linked below. But if thrifting isn't your jam, or maybe you want to try something new, you can also try trading. There's this app called Buns, but you can also, just trade with your friends. Do a clothing swap, you can give hand-me-downs. Basically, there are a lot of ways that we can avoid sending our stuff to the landfill, and there's also a lot of ways that we can prevent from buying brand new. You can also just try simply reducing your consumption. You can ask if you really need that item or if it's just a want, and also think about why you're buying things. Like, why am I going to the mall? Do I actually need a new wardrobe, or am I just here for like emotional shopping? Am I just bored? Am I just happy? Kind of thing. Now, when you are shopping, whether that be groceries or buying new clothes or whatever it may be, avoid getting plastic grocery bags. Some stores are charging for bags these days, but other stores are also like giving you a discount if you bring your own bags. I know Sprouts, my local grocery store, they give me a discount. They're like, okay, how many bags did you use today? And I'm like, 10, and I get $1 off. That's not a lot, but it does add up in the long run. So say you use 10 bags per week, you go grocery shopping 1 day a week, you could save up to $52 a year. And of course, this saves a lot of waste. I don't think I really need to say that after each one of these, but it does. There are also a lot of unnecessary items we buy, I feel like especially in the US, that have been marketed to us that we need these items. These are things like dryer sheets and paper towels, air freshener and perfume, and this is just to name a few. There are others, of course, but I also have 2 videos now talking about things that I have quit buying as like an eco-minimalist / zero waster. They will be linked above and below. These items are often wasteful, unnecessary, and of course can save you a lot of money over time by not buying them. The last item in this category is to borrow or rent instead of buying specialty items. Oftentimes we need a suit for a fancy event. We need a drill to do a quick project in the house. Instead of going and buying that product to use one time, think about renting or borrowing it instead. Now, of course, if you're gonna use it several times over your lifetime, you can probably buy it, especially if you find it secondhand. That would be cool. Instead of borrowing several times, but just think about it. Like, are you only gonna use it once? Probably should just borrow or rent. Now let's finally talk about some zero waste products that will actually save you a lot of money over the long run. My favorite, period underwear. There's also menstrual cups and reusable pads, but they are hefty up front. I gotta admit, like $20 to $40 per pair. So they are definitely not affordable if you need like 10 pair, but if you buy 1 pair a month, you might be able to manage that, and it will save you a lot of money in the long run. Because if you think about it, no, I have a graphic somewhere. I think it's on Instagram. Okay, so I did some research for this graphic I made on Instagram. Here it is. It estimates that $20 to $40 per pair of period underwear, and then $20 to $70 per menstrual cup. Who's buying a $70 menstrual cup? So that is between $160 and $1,200 per lifetime, depending on how well you take care of these items and how long they last for you. Now, a box of tampons is $5 to $11 every 1 or 2 months, and a box of pads is $4 to $10 every 1 or 2 months, which can end up being $960 to $5,000 per lifetime. So you can save a couple $1,000s per lifetime by switching to reusables. Other things are reusable Swiffer pads or like a reusable mop, cotton makeup remover pads, hankies, unpaper towels. Of course, reusable water bottles and reusable coffee cups. Silicone bags are a great one, as well as like beeswax wraps and cotton bowl covers to use instead of like tin foil and plastic wrap and single-use disposable bags. Shampoo bars and other cleaning concentrates. I have a full video talking about the cleaning concentrates I'll use that will be linked below. An average shampoo bar is like the equivalent to 2 or 3 bottles of shampoo. Of course, it's a lot less waste, and that is because it is a concentrate you don't need to use as much. Bidets, of course, save a lot of toilet paper easily. My #1 swap, Tide with period underwear. Reusable lint brushes like this one I have here, thanks mom. And there are so many more zero waste swaps out there that will save you a lot of money over the long term. I have lots of different product reviews on this channel talking about them. That is all that I have for this video. Thank you so much for watching, especially if you made it to the end. I know this got kind of long. I didn't expect it to be that long, but I hope that this was really valuable for you. If you have any other ways that you save money by living low waste, definitely leave them in the comments. And thank you to everyone on Instagram who helped me fill out that last category of zero waste swaps you can buy. If you'd like to participate and be included in some of these videos, follow me on Instagram for those occasional help me with my YouTube video stories. If you found any value in this video, I would really appreciate a thumbs up. It really helps support this video and this message. And if you're new here, don't forget to hit subscribe. I talk about all sorts of things zero waste, focusing on free, easy, and fun ways to live low waste and practical ways to be an activist. I haven't talked about free ways to live low waste in a long time, and I feel like that kind of fits in this category, free ways plus ways to actually like make you money over the long run. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Again, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. And if you would like to support me in any other way, I do have a Patreon linked below. Thank you so much to my current patrons. Your support means the world to me. And until next time, remember that your small actions have a big impact in the long run. Bye guys. Showing them your butt? Oh, you're not tugging very hard. There you go. I've said so many times. I'm gonna add them to the bloopers. I don't really have anything else to say for an introduction. Cooking all the meals for the day. Cooking all the meals. If you've got what? Switch to a oh my gosh. The bloopers are gonna be long. I personally think some of these don't let the water run. Oh yeah. Okay, this video is gonna be quite long. I did not think about that. Anyway, the last one in this category is, oh my god. What else? What other swaps are there?